following program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity.
Green Bay.
Good, better, better. Good gets better. Better gets better. Bears on three.
Here we go, Bears fans. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's done by Barflies, for Barflies, and all the other Bears fans out there. What's going on, fellas? We figured we'd tap in a little bit. We got the NFL Combine going on, some workouts going on, trade rumors swirling. Are the Bears going to Indiana? We're hearing it all, so we're just figure we'll hop on here and touch base with the fan base and touch base with my boys and see what's on our minds, man. But first and foremost, how's your off season going? How you doing, my man, Tooch?
Doing good, man. Getting my fill of the Combine, and here we are. Off season, and there's plenty of Bears news. Never a shortage. KB,
man,
it's always we got the Indiana Bears. Man, there's so much going on. We get to. I want to thank Barflies for being here on a Sunday morning early. Get your coffee. Pull up a chair.
Yep, got my coffee up here. Look at that. Barfly Tailgate Show coffee in the bin.
Yep.
Give me a little sip. Yeah. I mean, Combine's going on. I feel I'm such a draft nerd. That's really why I decided to take the role of producer for Danny Shimon for Draft on Tap, because I love the stuff and I know he knows what he's talking about and he's watched. So I've been learning all kinds of new stuff. Tooch, I'm learning how to put tape together.
I've been enjoying the show, AC.
Yeah, I was gonna say, great, my boy AC said he finna be the next, NFL scout. You know what I'm saying? Be on the Twitter talking crap to people. You feel me? I can't wait.
I'm having a good time with it, KB. I'll be honest, man. It's really fun because I've always been a draft nerd. I always pick somebody's brain about. We talk about it all the time on here. Oh, who we gonna grab? And I get that we're getting this guy at the top 10, which. This is crazy. This year we're picking 25th overall, but who we grabbing in that 5th, 6th round, 6th, 7th round? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna round up the bottom of this this roster.
Some of them guys that we thought would be in the 5th, 6th aren't gonna be there though. AC after they're running these blistering 40 times.
That's right. Hey, and Neil couldn't make it today, unfortunately, but he'll tell you, and Danny will tell you, these combine results are fantastic to see the underwear Olympics, but all it does is point you back to the tape to say, okay, what did I miss about this guy, or was I correct about this guy? Which, like you said, Tooch, man, the running backs put on a freaking show yesterday, running 4 threes. Jeremiah Love I mean, we talked about him all year, how great he was for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You know, that's our fan base too. It's a Venn diagram of Bears fans and Irish fans. But he put on a hell of a show, run a 4.37, I think, jumped out the gym.
4.36.
I was watching last night. Somebody asked him, have the Cowboys met with you? Like, the Cowboys just re-signed Javonte Williams, first of all. But Jeremiah Love was like, my dad, I grew up, my dad was a Steelers fan, so I ain't really talked to him like that or something like that. These players.
They asked him who's America's team or whatever. He's like, if you talk to America's team, he's like, who that? He's like, you mean the Steelers? You gotta love it.
You know where his preference is.
Yeah.
A Relentless Mikey says, overall in this draft, is it weaker than last year? What are your thoughts? I think the quarterback position is weaker.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Than last year, but every other position, running back's pretty deep.
So deep.
The trenches, which is what we need, fellas, is super deep. The defensive tackles put on a real good show
Edge rusher
the other day.
Safety.
Edge rushers was looking good.
Cornerback is deep.
O-line's going today, so if we do decide, because I know we don't have the clip, but Aldo played it on a previous show of Dan Rochar going on Ron Armstead's podcast, really shed some light on what we're thinking in the left tackle position. I thought was fantastic. That's what I love about this fan base.
Taking a guy if he's there at left tackle. I know people ding me on Bare Their Soul, say if Caleb Lomu or Monroe Freely's sitting there at 25, first round is where you grab left tackles.
Yeah.
Is it not? The premier positions in the first round are left tackle, cornerback, quarterback, and edge rusher. Yeah. I mean, do we need to improve on our 5.0 yard per carry average that the defense gave up last season? Yeah, I mean, love to have Caden McDonald plugging up the middle. That guy's like a tree stump. He's like his anchor is incredible, dude. You instantly improve the run defense with that player.
So, what are your guys? My list of needs in Bears is defensive tackle 1, edge rusher 2, left tackle 3, corner and safety. I guess maybe linebackers got to be in there too with the Tremaine Edmonds stuff.
Oh yeah.
Linebacker's huge for me, I think.
But the top 3 for me in order is defensive tackle, edge, and left tackle, because I know Theo Benedict's not perfect, but he won some games with us last year, and maybe that's a place we attack with free agency if we can free up some cap space, bring somebody in a stopgap to play a year. Tooch, what do you think our needs are in order in your mind?
Well, depending on what they do in free agency, and Ryan Poles has come out and said, "Hey, we're limited in free agency this year just due to the cap. We can't have an off season like we did last year in free agency just because of the cap. But the salary cap did increase $22 million. It went from $279.2 million to $301.2 million. That's going to free up $22 million. And then, of course, there's the talk of they gave Tremaine Edmonds permission, his agent, to seek a trade that would free up about $15 million. And then, of course, there's still even the DJ Moore trade talk persists. And Ryan Poles did not rule it out. He didn't rule out a Tyson Bagent trade. He didn't rule out a Tremaine Edmonds trade. Everything's on the table, but the focus of their off season, him and Ben Johnson both said we need more team speed. We got to get faster. And the Green Bay game is first to mind. For me, when we couldn't cover it, we couldn't cover their faster receivers. Right. Ben Johnson went for it on fourth down every time because he didn't want to, put Green Bay's offense back out there and have their receivers.
And that really stood out to me when I was watching the Super Bowl. Like, wow, these guys are super fast. They close so well. We didn't have that at all on our roster from front to back. That's something.
But if you're talking needs for me, I mean. If Ryan's cousin isn't back next year, you need somebody to stop the run, man. Team speed on linebacker is big for me. We don't have any safeties under contract, although Ryan Poles has made it known that he would like to re-sign Kevin Byard. And I know both of you feel strongly about re-signing Kevin Byard, but on the Bare Their Souls Daniken said, hey, we're paying for what the guy did, not for what he's going to do. He's an older player. Is it going to be better than what he did last year? Is that the peak? Is it downhill from here with a player like Kevin Byard? I don't know. Again, he wears the C on his chest.
That's the big thing to me.
A team captain, that's huge. If you want to keep him around for leadership in the secondary, that's important. Can he, bring along younger players? I don't think Jaquan Brister, probably that last game was his best game as a Bear. He probably priced himself out of the Bears range.
Yeah, that's what I think. Mm-hmm.
But I know I'm talking so much here. Sorry about that. But there's so many things going on in the Bears world. Like I said, Pohl says they'll have more constraints this year. They're further back in the draft order than they've been in quite a long time, picking 29th. Look, there's talk about even trading Gervon Dexter. So, I mean, like I said, you could double down on defensive tackle in this draft. It's that deep. I think guys are there on day 3 that can contribute almost immediately. I don't know. What do you think, KB?
Man, it's a lot of information going on, man. There's a lot of information out there right now. Like I said, if we're talking about needs, man, my needs damn near line up with both of y'all's. D tackle is number 1. For me, edge is 2. I got safety at 3 and the linebacker. Then I got left tackle. Like, I get it, man. Listening to Dan Rochard talk, it kind of set my mind at ease because he said everything you needed to hear, man. Yeah. It might be possible that the guy is sitting on the roster right now because we don't have the assets to really do things. And I think everybody feels that this is the season where you need to lean, the off season where we need to lean heavy in the defense because by all accounts, you feel like your offense is there. You just need another year in the system, you know what I'm saying? And you just need players to make that leap for the next year. Oh man, of course, man. I see Relentless Mike saying it's Lion season. It's absolutely Lion season. Man, you look at all the trade buzz that's surrounding the team. The possibility of losing Edmonds to a trade. But we all kind of knew that in the beginning. We all kind of felt like this could be Edmonds' last year unless he turned in the All-Pro or Pro Bowl-esque season. But because you can't justify paying him $17 million for this year when you're up against the cap. You look at what they say about DJ Moore right now. We all love DJ. We all will love to hate. We will all hate to see DJ leave, but if a team is going to swing you a decent pick for DJ and relieve the cap space, then now you have to consider it. Tyson Bagent now being talked about in trade talks. It makes a lot of sense. The kid, you can tell he wants to get a chance at starting somewhere. And if you can pull a Jimmy Garoppolo trade off Preston, that's a trade pick that can fix the defense.
Yeah, the Bears are looking for. They said they're looking for something like a 2nd round pick. I think, right? Didn't they come out and say that?
Mikey thinks nobody will give us that. It's happened in the past.
Yeah.
Garoppolo went for a 2nd. I'm trying to remember all the backup quarterbacks that went for.
Is Jimmy Garoppolo that much better than Tyson Bagent? Honestly,
I think he was, but I don't know, man. To me, we'll talk about the Bagent. First and foremost, Jay Fowler said today that the Bears have a good chance. We might see Tremaine Edmonds gone this week, and the 3 teams involved are Raiders, Giants, or Titans. So that'll be something to watch for Bears fans this week. I heard Albert Breer when it first came out say he thinks they can get an early day 3 pick. So that's was it 3rd, 4th round, or is that 4th, 5th round?
4th round would be early day 3, but
so
that's going to bring up the Max Crosby stuff if it's the Raiders.
Yeah, for sure.
If
we could get. Man, I don't know. I love Bagent for what he did, but if I can get a 3rd for him, I'm moving on. I feel like that saves you in cap space. And this draft, although, like I said, it's not highly touted at quarterback position, but if you can get a guy who fell, who was highly ranked, like I said off air before we started, Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier were guys that were supposed to be high up in this draft class, and they failed their last year of college, which Clemson, I've been talking about on Draft on Tap. They have great players all over that roster. They just failed for whatever reason. If you can get a Cade Klubnik in the 4th round
did they fire Dabo?
Heck no. Dabo makes too much money,
I couldn't
man.
remember off the top of my head, but I'm just
that's the one that should have been gone that wasn't gone. Man, maybe he'll change his ways and get like he was anti-transfer portal, and I'm like,
yeah,
you can't go in this era of college football with ignoring the trade or the transfer portal. You just can't do it.
Good defensive players on that roster, man.
Erica says, let's trade him to the Jets for a second. 33 overall. Hey, if I can get that, buddy, I'm running to it.
Yeah, I'm running to it. What else do you want? You know?
Yeah. I just I think Bajan's good, but I think it's almost like and as a Cubs fan, I see it a lot too, where we sort of prospect hug, right? Like when we traded away Owen Casey for Edwin Cabrera this offseason, a lot of fans were like, why are we trading away our best offseason or our best outfield prospect to? I'm like, dude, you got to fix the pitching staff. We've seen it. We watched it against the Brewers where we didn't have anyone who could throw near 100, and they've got their whole freaking.
You're hitting me where I live, man.
Yeah.
You're hitting me where I live. I watched them play here in Des Moines for a while, you know.
Right.
As Bears fans or Cubs fans, we get attached to these players, whether there's prospects or rookies or whatever. You know, and my thing is, do I like Tyson Bagent? Sure. Caleb Williams has proved himself beyond durable. He's about to break. Next year, he'll break the record for most consecutive games started. Knock on wood. Bob Avellini holds the record with 42, and I think Bill Wade has 37, and Caleb's at 34 consecutive games started for the Bears. Regular season games started. So he'll break that record next year if he makes it to the 9th game. And that's the thing is like, if God forbid something happens to Caleb Williams and he misses a season, what do you have behind him? Is Tyson Bagent getting us to the Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't think so.
KB, we saw Tyson Bagent live. You know, we was at Soldier Field last time he started a game. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
Man, I think Tyson Bagent has the tools to be at least a decent quarterback in the league. I think he could go to a team like the Jets or the Falcons to be a bridge, maybe, you know, I'm not even gonna say bridge because I feel like that's disrespecting his talent. I think certain teams like of that ilk, you know what I'm saying, that need a quarterback would do well with a Tyson Bagent. I think if he goes to a system where he can pick it up really quick, I think you wouldn't be wrong with having him. I don't think he'd be a world beater by any chance, but I feel like maybe he could have like a Kirk Cousins-esque ascension in the league where he starts off and it's like, oh, okay, this kid can play, and then he's just a steady force.
Like where would be the best? I mean, look, if he's going to New York Jets, he's not set up for success.
No, you're not set.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's set up for success.
Yeah, nobody's set up for success with the Jets. We send Mahomes there, and he's probably going to struggle. But
I said on the 12-ounce Squirrel Route podcast that the Jets should change their name to the Tanks because that's kind of what they're doing, man. You got Aaron Glenn falling asleep at the combine. Edge rushers are going. You need that position. Are you asleep? What's going on, brother?
What the hell? What a disaster.
It was a long night. That's what he said.
I mean, Tyson Bagent in the right situation, I agree. It can be, get your team to playoffs and maybe win a game or two, but I don't know. I mean, I want to say, look, picture him on that Seahawks roster. If like Sam Darnold weren't there, could he have success? Yeah, probably.
I think. I think the two interesting ones, man, and it's the one that came out the gates early. I think the Cardinals would be interesting.
They're going to be. I think they're going to be the worst team in the NFL next year.
They probably are, man.
The Cardinals, but
I think it depends on what they do.
Poor Tyson, but yeah, they're the team. Like KB said, that's the team. That's the talks are for the Cardinals and the Falcons.
The Cardinals,
those are the teams.
So it's like he's destined to be a bird, brother.
But if I'm one of those teams. If I'm one of those teams, like, how do you value it, trade for a known commodity or a somewhat known commodity in Tyson Bagent? He hasn't really started a game in, 2 years? Almost 3?
Yep.
Or trade for – are you going to trade for a Will Levis or a Tanner McKee or something of that ilk? Or are you going to go take your chances in the draft? Like, to me, Relentless Mikey, who's your number 2? Would it be Case? I would love to have Case Keenum back if he would have us. I love having that the old head in the room, the guy who knows what he's looking at, that can help continue
not playing on the field.
Right. The coach in your locker room. But with the CBA, these coaches only have a certain amount of time with these players, whereas Case Keenum can hang out with Caleb all he wants to. They can go to Top Golf.
That's a great point, man. It's a great point.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind having Cade Klubnik as second, and then just like we did last year, bring Keenum in and be that number 3 quarterback, the guy who helps these young quarterbacks learn what they're looking at and what they're doing. What they're doing in this league.
Nussmeier is that kid's been playing quarterback since he was 4 years old.
Yeah, Nussmeier. A lot of
quarterback in the NFL.
A lot of LSU fans said he was hurt last season for a lot of the year, some sort of shoulder injury that he tried to play through, which hurt his draft stock. He did play in, I believe it was the Senior Bowl, and looked pretty good there.
Really
so
good.
It's just whatever it's however you trust what you maybe saw the junior year. But I mean, we're seeing that with other prospects as well. I'll bring up Cornelius's question because I thought it was a good one here. If Thieneman or McNeil Warren from Toledo, the safeties, are available at 25, do you take them over defensive tackle, edge, or offensive tackle?
This is a great question.
As much as Thieneman put on an absolute show yesterday, I can't do it, man. I feel like Caleb Banks, if he's there, if Caleb Banks is there, or Caden McDonald, who you just talked about earlier, Tooch is there, or one of these edge. I mean, Reuben Baines' arms, they were 30 inches long.
Had pictures of him like a T-Rex Photoshop.
But if what you see on tape, I'm gonna ask Danny about this, because what you see on tape, the guy was unblockable through the college football playoffs. So how much do you weigh that with his arm length and what you think as a scout? But if he somehow falls, buddy, I may run that one up because that dude's a monster. Go ahead, KB.
So it's funny because I got 2 things on this going on both fronts. The first one being this: the D tackle conversation over the safety. I think you need to take prior history in the in the thought. When Ryan Poles got here, what did he do? He built the secondary up. You went and drafted Brisker. You went and drafted what's my man name? Kyler Gordon. We didn't invest in the front 7 at all. You know what I'm saying? And you see where that's gotten us now. You're going to lose Brisker. You re-sign Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon was off injured last year.
It's got a big contract.
I think at that point you need to do it the right way, which is what everybody says. You build the front first. Build that front first. When you get the front, then you start to build the back end, because it's easier. So it's not pimping in reverse, so to speak.
Build through the trenches, my man.
The only player right now that if you're looking at safety, I feel like if he was at 25, I'm taking would be the kid Caleb Downs.
Oh,
that he has to be an absolute freak of nature.
Yeah,
and that type of game changer.
What about? I know there's no shot, but what if Sonny Styles somehow slides because he's an off-ball linebacker? Do you take that off-ball linebacker in first round? Or?
Yep.
Just
the
because
guy ran a 4.40 at his size.
He's a monster. He played safety, much like Brian Urlacher. He played safety and transferred into being a linebacker at the Ohio State University and played his ass off.
Let me play devil's advocate for you there, because this is another cautionary tale. But you can play this with anybody at this point. There was a kid that came out of Clemson that played hybrid safety and linebacker.
Simmons.
And was supposed to be the next greatest athlete. He ran a fast 40, had all the measurables. I'm mad because I say kid. His name is actually escaping me.
Isaiah Simmons.
Yes. He ended up on the Green Bay Packers at a certain point. But he seems like he's one of those type of athletes coming out. And Isaiah Simmons was supposed to be cerebral. He was supposed to be the next big thing coming to the position. We seen him go to a team. It did not work out, and it's stunning his growth as an NFL player. That you always have that type of shot with those type of players in my head. They could be all world. Another one that everybody blew up was really mad that he didn't get drafted by his old coach, Taylor Mays, out of USC when he was coming out. Taylor Mays was supposed to be the next biggest thing, the next great athlete playing safety, the next Ed Reed, the next blah blah, and it didn't work out. I think
Sonny Styles is a little bigger than Isaiah Simmons was.
He might be.
Yeah, it's 6'5" or something.
And like Jay Grizz is saying in the chat, he put a lot on tape this last year. Looked really good against high competition. So that's something that but Isaiah Simmons, yes, that was a guy who, oh wow, this dude's crazy athletic. He could play. Yeah. They said he didn't really have a position, but they felt like you could play him anywhere on your defense. Harold Perkins feels more like that to me in this draft, where he blew up his freshman year as an edge rusher, but he was like 6'1", 230. Mm-hmm. So they were like, let's try him at linebacker. He was okay, but he wasn't. He looked generational as a pass rusher in the freshman year. Yeah. But it's.
But then, like I said, like you got that cautionary tale. You know what I'm saying? You get the D tackle over D tackle. To be honest, is more of a safer pick, and I think it's more of a need that we need. If we were on the board at 25, and you look at it, and you had Thieneman on there, you had McDonald, you had Downs, and
if you have Downs there, I'm probably taking Downs.
We'll take that. We'll just throw that kid out there from Texas Tech, one of them. I would be hard pressed not to pick up Caleb Downs. I think the kid has all the upside in the world. So that's that one.
The Toledo kid is interesting. Man, it's a lower level of competition in the MAC.
Yeah.
Thieneman played at Oregon, a little bit bigger program.
He played at Purdue before that. So
Purdue before that. He's got, if you're talking about speed, but for me, I think at 25, you want that super safe pick. Yeah. And then in the trenches. Now, Greg Gabriel has said on his show that NFL general managers are careful not to, put too much into these combine performances because they've been training since their college season ended for just these performance training. They've been performance training for these events at the combine. So that's what they've been. Man, Thieneman worked his ass off for some speed training. It paid off because he may slip into the first round for some team that does value those things. But
what it does is points a scout back to his tape. The tape is the number one thing. What you're seeing on tape, and safety's difficult too because they're not involved in every single play. You're
right.
The last line of defense. There's times where you're just deep, you just out there, and ain't nothing coming near you. Speaking of safety, Relentless Mikey with another great question. Do you guys sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson as a backup option in the secondary, particularly when you don't know if Kyler is going to be healthy or what he's got going on? To me, I would sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but I would put him more of the safety role. I wouldn't mind seeing him back there. If him and Byard are my last line of defense, I might be okay with that. I know it's older as a safety tandem, but And CJ's been on Twitter. He sounds like a bear. He's got Caleb's back. I mean, and anyone who dismisses him, I've seen him in their replies saying, "Hey, man, don't push me off the roster yet." Basically,
feisty. He's feisty. But I mean, he got exposed in coverage a little bit this past season. Let's not kid ourselves.
He did.
But yeah, I mean, you got to. I mean, for a depth piece, I'm okay with it at the right price, and maybe give him a try at safety. The guy that also is on the roster already that seems to be in the doghouse, couldn't get on the field, is Tyreek Stevenson. Would you try him at safety? He's kind of got the safety build.
I know nobody cares about my Madden franchise, but that's where he ended up on my Madden franchise.
It's something that we've always talked about, though. I mean, we've been saying that since the kid kind of got on the roster. He is kind of made up like a safety. He's not afraid to hit anybody.
Yeah.
He has the speed. I would say speed-wise, I feel like he's a little bit faster than the Eddie Jackson, and it's funny because I think if you put him back there, that's who he would kind of remind you of. Would be Eddie
bigger
Jackson.
Bigger than Eddie Jackson.
A bigger, slightly faster Eddie Jackson.
Faux Cheese, thanks for the thing. Thanks for the
shout out to Faux Cheese. You always spending money on us, getting us coffee, man. We appreciate you, brother.
Buying us some coffee. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man. I absolutely believe you keep Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I don't see a world where you just say, no, we're not bringing him back, because you need somebody that's feisty on your defense like him. He brings a different energy to the defense, and I think you need those type of players. Like I said, hate to play against him. Absolutely hate to play against him. Love when he's on your team. Yeah. And you got to also think about anywhere the kid goes, he wins. So I think he'd be one of the ones. He absolutely should be brought back, because I don't think he's going to break the bank in any form or fashion.
Yeah,
I think you could lock Chauncey Gardner-Johnson up on a 3-year deal that'd be very cap friendly and wouldn't hurt him or our pockets. He's 28. It's not like the man is over the hill. You know what I'm saying? He's in his prime.
And it's crazy because he's played for so many different teams, and I feel like he's been in this league for. I remember him playing at Florida, man, and I was like, this guy's a freaking terror.
He's a switchblade. I feel like you could put him anywhere. If you didn't want him to start in as safety, he could get in and be your second nickel corner. He could come in, he could play safety for you. Hell, I think if you gave him a chance, he probably could play a little bit of sub linebacker if you needed him to. He's just that type of piece that I think you could put him anywhere on the field. You've seen the type of impact he made the first game when he came in. I know that it kind of trailed off from there, but you see him on the field, you're just kind of like, all right, man, I know he's going to do something. He's going to impact the game in some way. So I think that's one of the ones you absolutely resign. Him and John
Cornelius, I don't know about this take, man. The secondary was absolutely off the charts, but they had Leonard Williams
off the charts too.
They had Leonard Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence on that defensive line. I mean, their backup defensive end had a possible MVP bid in the Super Bowl. A guy that they drafted out of Auburn. I think his name was Hall. Two sacks. I think the forced fumble caused the intercept. The dude was absolute beast against that New England Patriots offensive line.
4 guys with 7 or more sacks.
Yeah. They were the what is it? The sum of its parts greater than overall. Like, they didn't have one guy that was like a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett, but the sum of all of them together was greater than
It was very Philadelphia Eagle based, where you didn't have
that's exactly what I told Danny on Draft on Tap, which, by the way, we're talking defensive tackles tomorrow night. Draft on Tap right here on Barroom Network. Come in at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna talk all defensive tackles. I got tape cut up. We talking combine. We gonna get into it. Matthew Fochese with another super chat. Probably missed it, Matthew. But what D-line prospects are you in love with? I got to tell you, fellas, I don't know if he's worked his way out of our range. I know he missed last year, and a foot injury scares me for such a big man. But Caleb freaking Banks looked like an absolute monster. 6'6".
At the Senior Bowl, he dominated.
He was 6'6", 300-something pounds, the biggest wingspan they've seen of a defensive tackle in a long freaking time. Long arms, which Dennis Allen loves. Again, 6'6", so he's a bear of a man, for lack of a better words. And for a guy from Florida who we're trying to replace Javon Dexter, his get off is freaking there. That's
a giant difference. Giant difference.
Yeah. So that's that guy. And then as far as edge rushers, I fell in love with Zion Young in this going through the tape and watching stuff out of Missouri. Those are the two guys that have kind of become my draft crush on the D-line. What do you got, Tooch?
Cassius Howell.
Oh, that was my
They met with him.
That was my other name.
I know he's smaller, but man, his get off is then he's got some
the way he bends the edge is enticing.
He's terrible against the run, but man, if you want to talk about getting off the field on third down, you line that guy up and let him go nuts.
They said the Bears met with him. I saw a report. They met with him, but he's like 6'2", 230 or 240.
Yeah, he's like 248, 6'3", 248. around there.
He just doesn't.
He's
fit.
almost
And his
250.
arms.
He puts on some mass, but
his arms were sub 31 inches as well.
Yeah, short. But but man, this is the. I mean, if you're talking about a speed rusher, but man, like I said, Caden McDonald is nice. Caleb Banks, I forget how old he's going to be, so he'll be 25 during the season next year.
Banks?
And then Caleb Banks will be 25 at the end of the season. He'll be 24 at the start of the season. He just turned 24 in December.
I think he was a true senior. If I remember.
The injury causes some caution, because if that flares up again, then you're there's a big hole in our defensive line, like Ozzie Trapillo left. You know what I'm saying? But the safe pick is Caden McDonald. That guy, like I said, man, maybe he has some pass rush upside, but
three career sacks at Ohio State. But
but I mean, he's there to absorb double teams and just be immovable in the defense, and that's what he is, man. His anchor is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. His hands, strong hands.
He's your prototypical nose tackle. Out of Ohio State.
Yep.
He got a little wiggle to him, though. I know, KB, I hate to bring it up against Grambling State. He caused a fumble, and he's running to the end zone with his boy, and he's right behind him.
I think we all think, okay, that Grambling playing Ohio State was a good idea.
They won the halftime show, right?
Right. I was going to say, we won the halftime show, goddammit.
But, if you're talking Caleb Banks, man, dude's jolt, heavy hands. He's got some step fake, slap combination. He plays decent against the run too with them big long arms.
Daniel Jeremiah said he was worried about his footwork in his workouts.
Yeah,
but other than that, he's nailed everything.
He was throwing guys around at the Senior Bowl one-on-one drills. I was just like, get out of my way, little man. But
give me a big strong dude. Give me a big strong dude in the middle.
If you hit on Caleb Banks, it's a home run.
Yeah.
If you miss, you're looking, your ass is exposed. But
I was gonna say, if you miss, you might be looking at Gervon Dexter.
The biggest concern with Banks again is I love Banks, but he missed a lot of last year with a foot injury.
Yep.
For a guy that's 6'6", 300 something pounds, if your feet start acting up, man, you're holding a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight to try and get.
There's some later round guys, too, that are big. We had one at Iowa State, but the big citrus, Dominique Orange. That guy's he's like a poor man's Caden McDowell, man. He hustles, man.
Yeah.
He's motor is red hot. And then
I'll let KB talk a little about the first round guy, and then we can get into some later round guys if you want to.
Oh no, man! I was just thinking, you was looking at the later round guys. I know there was a guy with one of those extraordinary last names. I can't remember what school we played at. There's like Wake Forest or Syracuse, some school. Apparently met with him. He, like I said, he has one of those extraordinary last names where it's just like you're gonna play football in life because of your last name. Like I said, man, if we talk, you said something about draft crush. Right now, my ideal picks right now for the first two picks would be us getting Caleb Banks and not Hal, but Zion. If there was a way you got both of those,
I'm seeing Zion Young.
You got to take Zion in with 25 or trade back a little bit.
I'm seeing him going. I mean, mock drafts got him going to the Lions and shit now, and I'm like, God, don't let that happen.
We're talking about Max Crosby to the Lions, bringing him back to Michigan.
Yeah, I seen that. There's no
trying to put together a package for him.
What do you don't have the cap space for that?
I know.
They'll just restructure stuff, man. They've got the ability to make like 100,000 in restructures.
They will put themselves in
or 100 million
position the Saints are in if they do that shit.
Do the Lions feel that their window's like almost closed shut? They're going to try and make a move like that, I mean, last season, they ended on the outside looking in the playoffs. Would you? I mean, Dan Campbell. I don't know if obviously losing his two coordinators hurt.
Yeah.
Losing Ben Johnson hurt more than people expected. We expected it to hurt, but if the Lions feel that their desperate times are here, couldn't you see him making a move like that?
I mean, they got to look at the age that Goff is at. He's not getting any younger.
Yep.
They got to try and go for it while they can.
Exactly.
They did lose Ben Johnson. They went and got Ben Johnson's best man, apparently, with Drew Petzing out of Arizona. So they'll be running the football this year. We'll see what they do from there.
Speaking of Detroit, Jeremiah Love ran a 4.3640, which is the same that Jahmyr Gibbs ran. There's another guy that ran really hot at the combine, the Wake Forest kid, Damon Claiborne. I think he ran, what did he run? 4.3740. He's 5'10", 188. But that's the same size as Devon Achane. And people talk about, like, could the Bears get a Devon Achane here, in a trade if we're moving on from DeAndre Swift. I love DeAndre Swift. I think you keep him at the low price. He had a career year, but there's still talks of freeing up $7.5 million. And
he may be one of those guys that you
a cap casualty with. What do you guys? What do you guys think? I agree. I don't want to get rid of him, but I mean, I could see the Bears taking a late round running back with the way these guys ran.
They absolutely need to take another running back because you only got Swift for another year.
Next year, that's
take somebody else.
Yeah, I'd like to find a speed back late and a wide receiver with some speed late too. Barry Brown, I've been talking about him as much as I could. He played at UK and then went to LSU. Yeah. He ran a 4.4 yesterday. He's a kick returner guy. Not huge. He's 6'1", 180 or something like that. But if they're
little,
there,
him and the other guy are small.
Right.
Aaron Anderson and Barry Brown, they're like 5'9", 5'10", and sub 200.
Do they return?
You watch, they both returned.
Barry Brown does for sure.
Aaron Anderson was making change of direction in his pass routes was unbelievable. The other LSU kid, AC.
Yeah, Anderson.
Aaron Anderson. Yeah, I kind of like him a little bit better. But look, man, one thing, if we're talking combine and we're talking that the Bears want to get faster all around, these guys – the good Lord's making them faster and faster every year because they're a quarterback ran a 4.340. Taylor Green out of Oregon. 3 running backs ran 4.340. Jeremiah Love, Mike Washington, Damon Claiborne. Wide receivers, Jeff Caldwell at 6'5", 216 ran a 4.3140. Chris Brazzell, Tennessee, 4.3740.
He's
Bryce
6'5".
Lance. Yeah, he's big too, Brazzell. Bryce Lance, also a bigger receiver, too, a 4.3440 at 6'3", 204. That's Trey Lance's little brother. DeJon Stribling, Ole Miss, he's also a tall 6'3", 200.
Nick Harbour didn't come out this year?
6'40". Yeah, and have you guys seen the running back at Ole Miss?
I think Harbour went back
DeJuan
to
Lacey.
South Carolina.
You guys seen Ole Miss's running back, DeJuan Lacey?
I saw him live.
Next year. Next year, that dude, number 1 running back.
Well, the kid out of Missouri, a great running back. I don't know if he's next year or the year after. Ahmad Hardy. He's
Ahmad Hardy, yep. Yeah, really good, too.
Another guy I fell in love with, fellas, not to derail us again, this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute monster last year. I mean, RG3 was pushing for this guy to have Heisman votes. And look at the freaking stash, fellas. This is a big stash. This belongs in Chicago. Give me this guy over the middle, just wreaking freaking havoc. What are your thoughts on Jacob Rodriguez?
He won the Butkus Award. He belongs in Chicago. That's it. That's all I got to say.
What you got, KB?
Sticky in coverage, man. I love it.
Brother, man. Listen, it's some of these linebackers, man. I know I was starting to fall in love with Kyle Lewis, even though he's a little bit smaller of a linebacker. I just felt like that kid can do it all.
Out of Pittsburgh?
Yeah. I felt like he could do it all. Jacob Rodriguez is going to be a phenomenal linebacker on whatever team he goes to. Man, it's another linebacker that his name is escaping me right now that he showed out during the combine. I
can't
remember
the one out of Texas, Anthony Hill, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
Yep. The Bears.
He's going to be.
I love him too.
High second round. I think we won't have a shot at him.
So
Jacob Rodriguez may have pushed himself into the second round with his combine. A lot of people was worried about the athleticism. Even Danny said something about that, but he ran a 4.47 or something.
That's why you gonna get this second round pick for Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, there you go.
If we can get it, I'll take it.
There are some late round guys you could develop.
So there's a late round guy that I know they met with at the Senior Bowl. He played at it's UTS. Was it UTSA or
North Dakota State?
No, he's a linebacker from one of the Texas schools, and it was one of the smaller Texas schools. I can't remember which school it was, but he was at the Senior Bowl and he had a decent Senior Bowl. And I know they said it was their second time meeting with him.
If it's UTSA, one thing they always got is speed. They're called the Road Runners, and they live that on the
drafted a cornerback. Took one of their corners last year.
Yeah, Zay Frazier, who we're getting back this year.
Didn't play last year, but
I'm gonna look the kid up, man. I'm gonna look the kid up, and I'm gonna let y'all know the kid's name. But I know they met with him twice, and they had met with him again at the Senior Bowl.
There was one tight end who ran a 4.340. Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq.
He's a first round pick.
43.5-inch vertical, 11-foot 1-inch broad jump. I mean, that's some explosiveness, man. We don't need a tight end, but I just wanted to say these guys they're running so fast. I mean, besides Thieneman that ran a 4.340, Styles' little brother Lorenzo Styles ran a 4.27 at safety. Robert Spears Jennings, Oklahoma, ran a 4.32. Traden Stukes, Arizona, ran a 4.3340. And then at corners there was I think there was only one that ran a 4.2. Dalen Everett out of Georgia ran a 4.38. And Toriano Pride of Missouri. I mean, these two guys are good little corners you get late round if you're looking for depth. That one guy I love this player, AC. It's the Indiana cornerback, but he's so small. But man, D'Angelo Pounds. You know this player. His hit transition is so smooth.
His pick six to start the Oregon game really ended the game.
And he doesn't back down from anybody, man. He is feisty. He will stick his nose in the run game. But man, he flips his hips so nice, man. I know he's got short arms and he's like 5'9" and maybe $180. But man, dude is a player.
Yeah,
I know, but it doesn't fit this. He doesn't fit Dennis. What Dennis Allen's looking for. But
unfortunately, he doesn't. But he'll be playing for somebody else, and he'll be playing for somebody. Plays.
Yeah,
he'll definitely be making. I just hope it's not Green Bay. Green Bay historically takes guys that I'm like, I like that guy a lot, and then they just go out there. I mean, my guy Carrington Valentine from right here in Kentucky, they grabbed him in the 7th round, and he starts for them. It kills me.
Kentucky's got some nice players, I think, man. There's a really big guard.
Tackle.
There's a really big guard. I think Jalen Farmer, is that his name?
Yeah, he's been popping up.
Guys, pancakes of fellas. The running back on
Seth McGowan. I loved him.
McGowan might be a good late round pick.
Seth McGowan was the bright spot of the Kentucky football team last year. Even when nothing else would go right, they'd turn around and hand it to him, and he'd do something with it. Kendrick Law, they started getting him involved later in the season last year. He didn't run as fast as I thought he would, because when I'm watching him play, he looks a lot faster than what he actually ran. So maybe he'll run again at a pro day or something.
Yep.
Y'all got a player on Kentucky I'm keeping my eye on.
Jagger Burton played center.
No. He's a young cat.
Okay.
Cedric Works.
I haven't really kept up with. I know they're hitting the. Is he? Was he already here or?
I think so. He's a.
Will Stein came from Oregon, and he's been killing it in the transfer portal. I don't want to get my hopes up this year, but there's people saying who's the next Indiana. A lot of people are saying Kentucky.
Hey man,
I don't know.
For y'all's sake, brother, I hope so. But
we got a good home schedule this year. Alabama, LSU.
Will Stein is the new coach of Kentucky.
Head coach. From Lexington, played at Louisville, never got offered at UK. Grew up a Kentucky fan, season ticket holder. So he come back home and he's been killing it in the transfer portal.
There's a late round running back that used to play at Kentucky that played on Toledo this year that I like. Chip Trainum.
He was always hurt when he was here.
Yeah,
his injury scares me.
Yep,
he's not the guy he's not the guy that's going to fight through it. If he was a little dinged up, he was like, I'm not going.
Yep,
Well, at least in college. Or maybe it's different when you get up to the league and you're getting paid. But in college, if he was a little dinged up, he wasn't going. What didn't matter.
Yeah. But I was saying real quick, that linebacker I was talking about, his name is Cedric Shad Banks Jr. He is UTSA. He's 6'1", 230.
Shad Banks, yeah, I heard of that player. It's a shame that Neil didn't make it here because the guy that ran the fastest time at the combine is a Mississippi State player, Brennan Thompson.
If you go back and watch him, when they played Arizona State, they upset them. Brennan Thompson, there's a play where they hit him over the middle, and I mean, he just like a lightning bolt takes off. And he's small, but he is quick. I mean, and it showed on tape.
4.26 40.
Yeah, and his testing numbers are showing that too. That the dude is so freaking quick. But the 5'9" or 5'10", whatever. That may push some people away. I hate it because he's a Tennessee guy, but that Chris Brazel, that's the guy that I was like, I knew he would test really well. It's like I said, 6'5", ran really great, big dude, goes high points the football. My only concern is, and I've said it on here before, the Tennessee offense, it's not like they don't run an abundance of routes. So they don't learn a whole lot of the route tree, much like Kevin White.
The quarterback struggled last year in that offense, Joe. I mean, it was a quarterback that I liked too. I thought was really good.
McGuire?
Joey Aguilar.
That's it.
Yeah, Joey Aguilar was at Appalachian State, and really looked great there. I was like, this is a guy that was making fantastic decisions. Gets into Tennessee, and like the complicated offense kind of threw him for a loop. But
that's the thing, though. To me, it's not a complicated offense. They just spread you out so far. Your quarterback is supposed to succeed in that. I don't know.
And it wasn't hitting all the layering the throws like you needed to.
Yeah, you got to have accuracy. I mean, that's the thing about Hendon Hooker, and that's why Joe Milton didn't work as well. He's a strong arm quarterback, but he couldn't. Yeah. Oh, speak of the devil!
Look who's back! Himself. He's here to talk some Brennan Thompson.
You want to pop him in? I don't see him on the thing down there yet. We got Neil coming in just a second. You spoke him into existence, Tooch. We were just talking about
Mississippi State. He had to jump in.
Hey, just gonna go ahead and tell you boys. I'm kind of like Candyman. You say my name 3 times, I just havoc. I'm gonna keep the camera off. Feeling a little bit under the weather, boys. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, that's cool. Yep. Yeah,
it's good to hear your voice, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Good to see y'all boys. Been listening to the show for a little bit. Love what you guys are saying.
Tell us about Brennan Thompson.
Man, that kid is just a lightning bolt. He's if you watch any Mississippi State games last year, if they had a quarterback that could consistently get the ball, drop that thing in the bucket, he had everybody beat by multiple steps. Every single game. It didn't matter who was covering him. It didn't matter who they were playing. It didn't really matter what the route concept was. He just has the ability to go ahead and run by dudes.
Aldo throwing some shade over here.
Oh, take it easy, Aldo. Yeah, we don't want to see what I look like right now. It's fine.
Oh, well, it's good to hear from you, Neil. We talked a little defensive tackle, a little edge rusher, a little linebacker. I'm falling in love with this Jacob Rodriguez guy. What are your thoughts? I think defensive tackles are number one need. I feel like a lot of people are with me on that. Are you with me on that? And if so, who stood out to you in the combine, the defensive tackle wise?
I think on ball, D-line, line of scrimmage defenders is where we need to go, regardless of it's an edge guy, regardless if it's an inside guy. I do kind of agree with you a little bit on the interior being a little bit more of a position of need when you really start to think about that. I know we talked all year long about we need guys off the edge. We need chaos coming off the edge.
Yeah,
terrorizing quarterbacks, all that different type of thing. But you look at what we have inside. Gervon Dexter didn't develop like we wanted him to develop. Gray Jarrett's getting old. Andrew Billings, love the guy, man. KB, love your boy, but that situation's not working out. And Shamar is hopefully he's going to be able to stay healthy. So who do you have inside to play ball? That might be where we need to go. we do need to address the edge in a big way too. So I think what might end up happening is 25 ends up being best defensive lineman available.
Hey, real quick, can I ask you this, Neil? If you had a chance right now to trade Gervon Dexter, knowing the need that you had at defensive tackle, would you make that trade?
Say that again, KB.
If knowing the need that we have at D tackle, if somebody offered you a pick for Gervon Dexter, we'll say somewhere between the third and fourth, whichever one floats your boat.
This is a great question.
Would you make that trade right now, knowing that we need the help at D tackle?
If you get a third or a fourth for Gervon Dexter, I think you take that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Contract year for
you end up getting your pick
last season. Very quiet 6 sacks, though. I'm going to just play devil's advocate for a second here, but
as
his get off was never the best.
Now, number one, you end up getting your pick back from a couple years ago.
Yep.
Because he was a day 2 guy, right? You end up getting that pick back.
Third round pick. Yep.
Second round.
Second round, really?
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was a third round pick. Okay.
Yeah, so you end up getting your pick back, but then also as deep as this particular D-line class is, whether you're looking at interior guys, whether you're looking at edge guys, you're going to be able to find somebody to replace him.
Yeah.
Your top 100 guys features probably like 30 D-line dudes that could probably start tomorrow.
Facts.
No, there's a ton, man. It's great. There's talk of the Kayvon Thibodeau trade.
Oh yeah, that's also.
Would you consider making a trade with the Giants
for a late round pick?
I don't know. I don't know what his value is. I haven't looked at it really. But
I haven't seen the proposed details of a hypothetical Kayvon Thibodeau trade. What does it look like?
I don't know. Maybe the chat has some ideas. What do you think, AC?
Something where they had a later round pick for him.
What I've seen from the Giants,
he was a top pick. Yeah.
Well, we talked about it when we started. They're one of the teams that's interested in Tremaine Edmonds. Maybe that's a player for player swap.
I would.
Or
similar contracts.
I love the idea of Thibodeau. He is going into a contract year, though. That's something you got to think about.
Here it is. Mikey's got it.
Relentless Mike. Yep. That's about what I had seen.
A fourth for Kayvon.
I've seen late day 2 or early day 3 pick for Kayvon.
There's been worse players being round 4 than Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, not to
some guy named Aldo Gandia's got a nice comment here.
Yeah, he did post something on. He posted something on X about sticking with Dex. I just 3 years in, you're still worried about his get off. It's as much as I loved him, I just don't think you can. And again, like Neil said, this defensive tackle class is so deep from Lee Hunter to Caleb Banks to Caden McDonald in the first round, to the kid out of Missouri in the second round, Daryl Jackson. Somebody was
love
talking
that kid from Missouri, man.
Don't count out my Iowa State big citrus, Neil.
Of course,
big citrus.
Hey,
that dude can play, man.
I was gonna say we got to get one more good one in here for Neil, man. Before I don't want to mess with his voice, you know what I'm saying? But if you had who was the dream pick for you at 25, Neil?
Oh man, I don't know if I have that answer yet, KB.
Oh,
I don't know if I have that answer yet.
Give me 3 names.
You know what? Like I just mentioned, I love that Zion kid. But I've always strayed on the side of big as hell, athletic as hell, long as hell, and he checks all those boxes, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
That dude's really interesting. It's hard not to love, a kid like Zane Durant that runs 4.79, or a kid like Caleb Proctor runs 4.75, 4.79. He had 7 guys that ran sub 4.9. I think he had 12 edge guys that ran sub 4.7. It's absurd. The athleticism, the speed, the explosiveness being displayed by a group that, traditionally you just look at traits in the physical sense, not necessarily the athletic sense. But we're looking at guys, as far as athletic sense in this draft, it is absolutely absurd. Fastest draft, I think, in the history of the world.
Yep.
And I mean, it is insane what is taking place on that turf in the Lucas Oil Stadium right now.
Yep.
I think, the names are in abundance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could rattle off a long list. I got to get deeper into film before I kind of have an idea of where I would go. I know who I like in terms of traits, but I haven't watched enough film yet. Life's been kind of chaotic, boys. We started a new job, trying to hit the wheels running with that. We got to move in a couple weeks, so you know that's been kind of a stressful thing. And
are you pulling a Bears moving to Indiana on us, Neil?
Man, if the Bears move to Hammond, I'll move to Hammond, boys. They take advantage of those state of Indiana tax codes.
That's right. KB knows.
They pay way too much money to the government in Illinois right now. I don't like it.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on the stadium moving? I mean, let me just I do have something here for the stadium while we're on it. This is the Bears statement. Issued a statement following the Indiana governor's signing of the bill to bring the Bears build a stadium. Indiana has taken the important steps over the last few months. We're grateful for the leadership reflected by Governor Braun signing SB 27, establishing the framework for a stadium development in Northwest Indiana. We will continue to work on the necessary due diligence, and we appreciate the ongoing engagement with Indiana state and local leaders. If I'm reading between the lines, fellas, I'm thinking, we already have this Arlington Park, and Illinois is trying to come to the, it's kind of like, thank you so much, but maybe, we're not moving out of the state.
I think it's all leverage. I mean, Illinois was dragging their feet for 3 years on this thing. They owned Arlington Heights. They tried to tax them 5 times what the LA Rams paid for their taxes at SoFi Stadium. And the Bears are like, what are you talking about? We don't even have anything on this. How are you taxing us this much? And then Indiana says, well, y'all can come over here, man. You give us $2 billion, we'll build infrastructure, we'll build the state, whatever. Give you a sweetheart deal. So they go back to Illinois, say, hey, we got this on the table, And JB Pritzker, what's he gonna do in the future? His political lifeline is at stake. If he loses the Bears, he can kiss it goodbye. So Indiana pushed Illinois to move toward this because Illinois actually didn't they start pushing the bill through as well, like right after this happened. So I think that's what it really comes down to. The Bears are going to be in Arlington Heights, in my opinion. They will build paradise there. It'll be like Wrigley Field, but for the Bears.
Illinois state lawmakers advanced the mega projects bill. They say it's necessary to build a new dome stadium in Arlington Heights. It gives developers of large projects like a new stadium the ability to save on property taxes by making a payment in lieu of taxes to local governments and school districts, which is what Cook County is worried a little bit about, is the loss of revenue for their school districts. So they're asking the Bears to make some donations.
Well, and payments the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, when they left Cleveland and moved to Baltimore to become the Ravens, they kind of paid them a little bit on the way out the door. They were like, sorry, we're leaving, but here's a couple mil. I don't remember what the price was then, but inflation's going to kill you on that. But, I could definitely see them paying a see you later remove, even if it's Arlington Heights move. I think they'll be paying a little bit to move out of the city.
Because I'm in the area, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess you would kind of say I'm in the northwestern or wherever the part of Indiana they want to say.
Chicagoland area is what I call it.
It's more central Indiana. That's what it is. It's Michiana. That's what it is.
Yeah. So we're looking at, and this is the part that kills me with the whole conversation. If they did decide to move to Indiana, okay, I get it. The pride of Illinois, all that stuff is out the window at that point. I get all of that. It's 20 minutes down the damn road.
Yeah.
You can still see the Chicago skyline. I can see the Chicago skyline from parts of the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
So it's essentially people saying, hey, we could have just moved this straight south and you've been 20 minutes away in that direction, but still in Illinois. Or I'm sorry, I jump across the street and it just so happened to be Indiana. I'm like, that is stupid to me. That the argument to me was stupid.
Parts of Wolf Lake are in Illinois, actually.
So we're sitting here discussing apples to oranges in my you know what I'm saying, my perspective of this, or whatever you want to call it. Words are escaping me, whatever. But you have a state that has been playing around for years. We've owned the Arlington property for how long?
Yeah, 3 years.
And there's been no movement. Yeah, it's a power play.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Indiana saying they'll do this shit right now.
And I kind of liked what the Indiana guy said, though. He goes, they're called the pride and joy of Illinois, but they're not being treated like it.
That's a great point. Look,
1,000%.
Can I play devil's advocate a little bit and sympathize with the Bears here? The Bears have been, I said this on Bare Their Souls on Wednesday. The Bears have been stadium nomads for most of their lives. They haven't owned their own stadium for the whole, the whole franchise, 100-year franchise. They have not owned their own stadiums. I do not blame them for wanting to own their own place. They have had to forego some revenue at Soldier Field as far as concessions and such. They've had the smallest stadium in the NFL for a while now. It was the lowest attendance in the NFL. They were playing at Wrigley Field at one point, for God's sakes. Yeah. Then they wanted their own stadium. They said, let's just renovate Soldier Field. They dropped the spaceship in the middle because we wanted to save the columns. Everybody loved the columns, and it ended up being a small stadium. They didn't own anything. They had leasing, from the Park District. Arlington Heights was their move. Is it possibly short-sighted because they didn't investigate the property tax liabilities? Sure, you can ding Ted Phillips and Cliff Stein or whoever else was working on that stadium project back when they purchased the property, and they brought in Kevin Warren to get this thing done so they can own their own stadium. They control the revenue. They can build a stadium complex around, have all the extra stuff around there to create a whole bunch of jobs. It's the right move for the Bears as far as owning their own place. And again, if they move to Northwest Indiana, I think they're leasing, right? They're leasing it for 35 years and they can buy it for $1.
Or renting to
own. Rent to own. It's a rent to own for 35 years. We'd like to have Caleb Williams playing for that long, but he ain't playing 35 years for the franchise, folks. He might not even. He might. It's going to be 5 years.
JR says the Chicago Bears will win the Super Bowl in 2072. So
right. But I mean, the Bears. It's been a struggle for them to get their own home. I would like to see them own their own stadium.
Absolutely.
And I want to throw this out there too, because you bring up Kevin Warren. You seen that there was a report coming out that, the Bears higher ups weren't really happy with Kevin Warren on the way that this was shaking out. And I'm here to say, who gives a fuck? I'm sorry. You have to play dirty if you want things to get done. You brought in the right guy. Play dirty. You want a stadium, play dirty, because doing it the good guy route has got you nothing. You went and bought the property in Arlington. Yeah, like you said, you might not have investigated everything that you needed to investigate, and it didn't turn out the way that you wanted to turn out right away.
Go figure. Ted Phillips didn't do his homework.
Right. So you're sitting here and then you're getting mad because Kevin Warren's like, "Hey man, I know y'all want to talk about this in like 20 minutes, but I'm about to cut out. I'll talk to y'all later." Hey, Indiana, so what y'all talking about again? Y'all said what? Y'all gonna give us $2 billion? Yeah, we'll come talk to y'all and look at a site.
Yeah.
Play dirty. Yeah. Do what you need to do to get the stadium built, man. You don't have people who are angels in that type of business to get things worked out. And that's just the guys on this truth.
Well, Pritzker said he was a businessman prior to being in government, so he knows what's going on both sides of this. I think it'll be Arlington Heights.
But like you said, business because he was so shitty of a businessman. That's what happened. His family kicked him out of the Hyatt negotiations because he was so damn incompetent as a leader and as a businessman. That's idiotic.
Really, what this comes down to, though, is Kevin Warren trying to buddy up with Brandon Johnson was a big waste of time and a waste of money. If you look at it that way, they could have been working on what they're doing in Arlington Heights, but instead he wanted to flirt with downtown. He wanted to build in the South lot and look at all these other things. And then Indiana comes open, so he's flirting with them. Like I said, I think we'll be in Arlington Heights. This is all just leverage play to try and get the tax deals that they want, and they'll end up probably getting it. But we had to touch on it, but I'm honestly, as a Bears fan, I'm sure other Bears fans are with me. I'm just tired of hearing about it. Let me know when the shovel's in the ground.
Real quick, we got a comment on the Colossal. His comment about Indiana and the sundown towns. Hey, brother, you still got to drive through those towns anyway.
Well, Indiana also, they were talking about
20 minutes
building up infrastructure and helping with that. It's
if anything, it'll bring awareness to the bullshit that does still happen in Indiana.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. Like I said, it's 20 minutes down the road. It's not like you're changing fundamental routes to get to wherever they're talking about. Like you said, parts of Wolf Lake are still in Illinois.
And I'm the only Bears fan that a lot of people
Heights.
here in Kentucky know. So they've all asked me about it. And I was like, the way I equated it was like, okay, imagine the Cincinnati Bengals. Their stadium is actually in Covington or Florence, Kentucky. That's the difference. It's because they hear Illinois to Indiana. What the hell? They're leaving the state. And I'm like, bro, just look at it this way as a way I can put it in perspective for you. And then they're like, oh, for real? That's it? I'm like, yeah, it's literally right there. Is when I go to Chicago, most of the time I'm staying in Indiana because it's a lot cheaper.
Lake County, Porter County, those are that is basically Chicago suburbs. That is greater Chicagoland area.
Yep.
We're not moving this thing to Fort Wayne. We're not moving it to Bloomington. Even South Bend was discussed at some point 30 years ago.
That is woo! Woo! You want to talk about swipe in at every game?
Yeah.
Drunk outside.
and that's the thing, though, the way that they're building up the west side of South Bend for all this technological industry, they could have easily just slapped Soldier Field too, right there, in my mom and dad's backyard. So, in terms of what the discussions were at one point throughout the entirety of this, let's build a new stadium for the Bears thing, as it goes back 30, 40, 50 years. There have been worse spots that have been proposed for the stadium location. If we're right by Wolf Lake, there's a really cool amphitheater down there that draws some serious talent, like Kenny Chesney, like type talent. Those sunsets over the lake with Kenny Chesney playing at an amphitheater on Wolf Lake, pretty cool. Stadium's going to be right there. They're going to build it up. It's going to feel like museum campus a little bit, with the Huntington Bank Pavilion right there, that as we currently have it, close to the water. It is a beautiful location once you build it up.
Right? For what Corn's
What's that?
saying? For what Corn's saying.
That was old Michael Reese Hospital site they talked about. That's in the south
just south of the McCormick. Yeah, that was talked about at one point. All they got to do is knock down the storage area for all those truck and tractor trailers.
Yep,
and they have enough space to build a stadium there. But I think you're limited on parking. But we can figure that whole thing out.
Yeah.
Man.
I do have a few things. Ryan Poles was asked about free agency and his plan and thing at the combine and everything, and he said that they won't be able to kind of do stuff that they wanted to do like last year on the offensive line, and they did do stuff on the defensive line last year. It just didn't work out because of injuries, and that's what he said with the Deo. Grady was injured. We have Deo and Grady and Shamar Turner coming back, but it's still the biggest need still feels like defensive tackle, and then the team speed. These are all things that we all saw. We all talked about the 5 yards per carry average on giving up for run in the run game. What do you guys think about the players that Poles signed last year in free agency for our defensive line?
I think they look worse and worse by the day. We paid too much for Dio. We paid too much for Grady Jarrett. And those are aging veterans that you're not getting your money. You're not getting your return on investment. And to me,
Dio only about 26, 27?
No, I was going to say Dio's young, but
is he? I thought he was like 28. He's 26?
The contract is aging. He's not aging, I should say.
Oh, okay.
But it's, to me, just because you put a bunch of money into it and it didn't work, should not deter you from trying again. I mean, we've got to fix that part. I get it. Left tackle is a big spot on the offensive side, but other than that, it's hard to find a weakness, at least as a starter, maybe some depth pieces on the offense, but on defense, we're needing starters at all three levels. We talked about it. Our team speed, if you watch the last two Super Bowls, like you said, KB, our team speed is inadequate. We're not fast enough on the back end. We're not fast enough on the front end, and we're not getting home. So you got to fix it. Whether that costs money, draft picks, however you want to go into it, you gotta keep taking your shots, man. If you strike out, it doesn't keep you from still swinging the bat.
You telling me the Bears need more money?
More money.
That's right.
To get better on defense, we need more money.
More money, more problems. Isn't that what they said?
I said this before, man. The way that this offseason is shaping up, if you just think about it, you make 2 trades on defense right now, and it's Gavon Dexter and it's Edmonds. You're damn near looking at a full rebuild on defense. Yeah, and you have to find a way to get the players in the building to do that, man. And you can't. I know we had an old friend on the network that used to come and say, man, the cap is a myth. You got to work them numbers, man. You got to figure something out, brother. Yep. You do.
Yep. Gotta get the right guys though too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, creating cap space, like I said, if you trade Tremaine Edmonds, you're going to free up about $15 million. If you trade DJ Moore, and I hate the DJ Moore trade talk will not go away. It's not going to go away until he's playing, opening day for the Bears. I guarantee it's not going away until then. Yeah. That'll free up about $16 million. So you look at these 2 players, trading them frees up $31 million, where you can go and sign some of these players or fit them in your cap, like whether it's Crosby or Thibodeau in a trade or Trey Hendrickson in a free agent signing.
I loved Hendrickson, but he's reportedly asking for $33 million. I love you, bud.
Get that.
But I'm not paying you that.
Unless he goes to the Jets, who have an extravagant amount of money.
We love DJ Moore as a player, and he's in rare company. I don't know if I had this. For players in the first year up until age 27, he's like 8th overall in NFL history as a fair amount of yards. But would you guys be open to trading DJ? I mean, we probably aren't getting much more than a 4th round pick, if that, for him. Is the depth at wide receiver, or can you replace? Because for me, I want to see Luther Burden more.
Luther Burden is my wide receiver 1 of the future. So I'm okay with trading DJ Moore, or, I mean, if he'll work with you and you can restructure it and save some money, maybe that's the best bet. It's hard for me. I do believe they'll end up moving on from him and trading him, but it's so hard for me to disconnect him from the Packers game. Doesn't happen without him. Either one of them. So many big plays that he made this year was
the Browns game.
Yeah, and I mean, who else is like us where he say it's always F the Packers? He's one. He feels like he's one of us. I hate to see him go, but man,
I know
it's a business. They talk about it all at KB. I'm sure your cousins talked about it. He understands. These players understand. We want you to stay here forever, but it's a business. We got to fit under the cap, man. It's not like baseball where we can pay whatever we want.
So here's Courtney Cronin tweeted this out. Don't know how much truth there is to it. I think she's quoting Ryan Poles directly, which says, "We want him here. We think highly of him, but this time is now. We have to look at all the scenarios that will allow us to put the best team out there. He's the guy we want here, but we have to look at all the scenarios." What do you think about her tweeting what Ryan Poles said?
He's been like that with every conversation that's been had about any trade scenario. He is given the same type of answer. So that tells me right now he understands the position that we're in. He understands that we need to build the damn defense badly.
Yeah.
We also want to keep key players here, but it's a business. It's like we keep saying, man, you can't, and it sucks to say, you can't have sentimental value with people. It's the real life. You go to work, you have to be in the mindset of this is work. And that sucks to say.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't have that
type of not in love with players.
that's how you get the one episode with the Bears on Hard Knocks where he's crying, letting go of a kid that he knew wasn't gonna make the roster.
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna feel like when we traded Khalil Mack. It's gonna feel like when we traded
Roquan Smith.
Smith. It sucks, but I guarantee you, if this team makes a Super Bowl next year, you won't care anymore.
Right?
On Bare Their Souls, we talked a lot about the left tackle hole that the Ozzie Trapillo injury has left a big hole, and AC talked about Dan Rashar, his interview recently. It sounds like, from what Ryan Poles said, that Ozzie Trapillo might not be back until if at all, very late in the season. And it's so unfortunate because we do have that affordable contract of Ozzie Trapillo at the left tackle, which is usually one of the highest paid positions in the NFL. I would say maybe second to quarterback is left tackles get paid. I mean, you saw like Trent Williams, Hall of Famer, the 49ers can't afford to keep him in his $39 million
I think they're going to figure that out somehow.
but I want to get your guys' thoughts on what is the prudent thing to do at left tackle if you're the Bears, because Ben Johnson, he places a lot of importance on the left tackle being able to hold up on his own on an island, anchor, strength, and all that, which is what Ozzie Trapillo gave us. Braxton Jones we were always like, he's a little light in the pants. It wasn't, his anchor wasn't always there.
Very
light. There's a lot of nuance to this question. You have like King Buka said, you've got veterans out there, maybe a DJ Humphries or a Cam Robinson you could bring in to hold it down. You have the Canadian Eagle on the roster who, maybe isn't the best in pass pro, but is really good
right behind him.
Run blocker. And then you've got some talent in this draft at left tackle. And you hate to use a high pick, whether it's a first round or second round pick on a left tackle, but at the same time, you can't leave Caleb's blind side unprotected.
That's true.
I gotta know what you guys are thinking on this, because I would not be surprised if Caleb Lomu or Monroe Freeling is there in the first round, or someone is there in the second or third round, that they don't take a trench player to guard the blind side, someone who can play. I know there's some players in there you can get into day 3 that have played pretty good at left tackle. What do you guys think?
I like the kid out of Georgia. Maybe not more than I'm seeing, and a little bit more than Caden Proctor out of Bama.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was your boy. That's your boy now.
I loved Caden.
Hey, that's your boy now.
The more I'm seeing, I think Caden may be a lot like Braxton, a little light in the pants, man. I don't know for sure, but he's quick.
You mean Monroe Freeling?
I like Freeling. He's
Freeling's a little light.
But
Caden's like 366 pounds. We had him here in Des Moines. He played at Southeast Polk High School, but to me, he's got plenty anchor.
I like what Swaggy McNoleg says though. Taylor Decker plays for the Lions, correct? He announced he was coming back, but we're not sure if he can fit under their cap or what they're going to do if he's available. I'm going veteran. I'm going either Taylor Decker. Or Dan Skipper retired and joined their coaching staff, so you're not going to be able to bring him in. I'm not a huge fan of Cam Robinson, but as a stopgap guy, maybe for a year. But I'm going to look for a veteran because I know.
Would you bring back Braxton Jones?
No, I'm not bringing him back. But like Aldo says, can't count on Ozzie for 2026.
Yep,
but
you can't.
I feel like Ozzie for 2027, I'm looking that way. And if you take an offensive tackle at 25, that's pushing the defensive tackles and defensive ends even further down where you're able to get one. We don't know how it'll play out.
What about free agency and defensive tackle?
I feel like we got to get it younger and faster. I don't know if you're going to fix that in free agency.
No, the only one that you can fix with that would be John Franklin Myers, whoever the kid's name from Denver. Who I think is a very, very good player, but you're going to spend money on him.
We'll have to wait till Neil scouts those left tackles. He might be gone.
I was gonna say, man,
I would do both, man. I would try and get a guy in the draft.
Oh yeah, if you can find a guy later in the draft, the kid out of Northwestern right there in the backyard.
Yeah, Caleb Tiernan.
If you can grab him, if he falls to you in the second round, maybe you pull the trigger and hope a pass rusher falls to you in the third. Go ahead, Gibby.
See, so I think that this is what the thought process is, man, because it sucks because you come into this offseason before the Aussie situation, it has to be heavy defense because that's where all the issue is right now.
Yep.
Then you get the Aussie issue, and then it becomes, okay, now that jumps up and everybody, it's a pressing need. AQ Shipley talked about the situation because somebody asked him about what he would do. AQ Shipley flat out, in not so many words, said you have to have a veteran. Bring in a stopgap for a year. You have somebody that can come in, learn the situation, because you go get a guy in the draft. Now you're looking at that person replacing the left tackle completely. That's what AQ Shipley was saying. Bring in a guy that can be a stopgap, a decent vet who can do things. I also look at it this way. You have to take into account Caleb Williams. Caleb can make a decent left, not even a decent, average-ish left tackle look a little better by the fact that he can move.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that's something he needs to consistently do or we have to lean on him to do. But at the end of the day, we're expecting Caleb to be a superstar. We're expecting Caleb to take this team to a Super Bowl. So at a point, there has to be a spot on the line where everybody's line has it. There's one weak link. Right now, that's our left tackle. So we have to lean a little bit more on Caleb as a player to make that offensive line look better, and specifically that left tackle. So if you can get a guy to come in here that's a vet that just hold down the spot for a year. It doesn't have to be a flashy name. Hell, to be honest, he probably will play just a little bit better than Braxton Jones. All you need is somebody that can anchor down. If they can anchor down, then I feel like you will have Caleb protected. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
DJ Humphries of the Rams kind of comes to mind. Like AC said, Cam Robinson could lock it down. Robinson's going to be a little more expensive.
Yeah.
Well, Fauci's bringing up Trent Williams. I mean, I love him. He's a top 2 offensive tackle in this league, and maybe not number 2. But in San Francisco, they're working out a deal because he's at $38 million right now, and he wants to get paid maybe a little more, or maybe he wants more years. I'm not sure what he's looking for, but they're in discussions on his contract. We can't fit that under our cap.
Hell,
we just simply can't.
You're talking Max Crosby type money.
Call Jason Peters' ass, man. Can he play left tackle for a season? Shit, he's 39.
I think he's in his 40s now, I think.
He's a shrimp boat captain. He ain't coming out, KB. Did they call him off a boat last time? Yeah, he
call while he was fishing. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll look at free agent left tackle, and then I would, after that, if you don't see something that you think is an adequate stopgap, if you can find a late round left
Caden
tackle,
McDonald, Caleb Banks, they're all gone. 25. And Monroe Freeling, Caleb Lomu, some of these other guys are there. Could you see the Bears pulling the trigger on a left tackle?
I like a lot more defensive tackles and edge rushers than I do offensive.
Maybe we go second.
It'd be very hard for me to pass on, even if it's my 3rd or 4th best edge rusher on my board or defensive tackle. I feel like you gotta shore that up.
You definitely have to shore it up. The board has to fall their way as well, though.
Yeah.
Neil,
you got something there? You good over there?
Yeah, I'm great.
What would you do at left tackle, brother?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, cool. No, the one thing I was going to say was I'm glad KB brought up that response by Akush. I didn't hear the I didn't hear the back and forth. The question. I'm assuming it was on Pat's show.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of the situation, though. Like I said, it's a short-term fix for long-term situation. It has to be a stopgap. You're not going to waste a high draft pick on a player that you don't see as a future fix to a situation that's already solved. You want somebody that's been there, done that can hold down the fort for a short period of time. And like you guys said, you got a quarterback that has the ability to escape, to be mobile, to improvise, to make magic happen, as we saw last year. And it's only going to get better from here, boys. It's only going to get better from here. And so you get a veteran in the room that has been there before, preferably somebody that has played in high leverage situations. Talking about postseason, talking about potential Super Bowl left tackle. If those are out there in free agency, we don't know, or if those are out there in the trade market, we don't know. But that is the direction that this whole thing needs to go. And if you do want to go ahead and take a, potentially productive, tackle on day 3, I really do think that that this team needs to, quote unquote, tackle the defensive side of the ball early and heavy in this draft. Get the best potential athletes that are on the board.
You heard it,
at every pick. Just get the best one on the board.
Yep.
In the front seven.
At the very least, if you grab that offensive tackle late, if he doesn't work for you at left tackle going forward,
position.
I love Tooney, but he's getting up there in age. Who knows how much longer you got? Maybe you can kick a guy inside, gives you depth there.
I think throw Benedette inside is what I think you do.
What's that?
I think you move Benedette inside.
Yeah, you have been saying that on here. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's what you do with him, because he's functional enough to get you out of a game at left tackle, but he's not a primary left tackle. Even his body type screams guard.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he has any experience on the right side at all, but he certainly can play left side guard. He is an absolute road grader, and he's functional enough in a phone booth in pass pro. You don't want him on the edge necessarily, but if you put him in a phone booth, he could be absolutely a menace inside. I think that's what you do with Theo Benedette. And I think he's got the right demeanor to do it.
Do you think early on when Theo Benedette had to come in and replace Braxton Jones that teams just really didn't have any tape on him, and after a while they kind of figured out what his weaknesses were, and that's why he didn't. They moved Joe Tooney out instead. And recently, Poles said he was asked if they would consider Joe Tooney moving him to left tackle. He said only in a pinch.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with Darnell. He said he wants to keep him on the right.
Keep Darnell on the right side as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Tooney has shown the ability to go in there and battle his ass off for a game.
Yeah.
At left tackle.
Yeah.
And the grizzled vet will do what he has to do.
Yep.
Not a primary position. But if you need him to do it, he can do it. He can execute it. And that's fine. It's great to have that luxury. But we're talking about the long-term future of the position. That's Ozzie Trapillo. So what are we going to do in 2026 to shore that up?
Yeah, does the injury that injury that he suffered give you any concern as to going forward?
Yeah, plenty of concern.
Absolutely,
plenty of concern. The patella is now the ACL of what the ACL used to be.
Oh.
Yep.
So that is a big time concern that. You just hope that Ozzie Trapillo is the freak that everyone says he is, and he can recover from this injury and be 100% his self that he showed us throughout the entirety of 2025.
Yep.
But that recovery process is going to be grueling.
Yep.
I've so much as just like pulled ligaments and strained things in my knee that forced me off of using this thing for a month. And that was, grueling enough. Like I just like even just thinking about not being able to use my knee, it just sends chills up my spine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I think D. Levine is right. You got to sign a vet and draft a left tackle in case he doesn't come back.
Go ahead, KB.
Let me phrase this way. All right, because I see folks saying if just in case he doesn't make it back. Okay, you go into this next season. Let's say we invest in a left tackle. They invest in a left tackle in the draft, and they use the premium pick to do so. You lock down the left tackle position. But then you go into the next season with the same issue that you had last year. Defensive team speed isn't there. We're not stopping the run. The defense can't get off the field when they need to get off the field. Now you have the same damn problem that you had from this past year. Where does that land you going forward?
Mm-hmm.
That puts you in the same position that you were in this year, where we're battling very close in one-score games. We're having the Bengals game.
Got to get the stop.
We have the Giants who we couldn't stop. We have the Vikings who we couldn't stop. So on and so
Packers.
forth. Or do you sit here and say, hey, let's build the defense as best as we can now. We go into next year with the stopgap. If Ozzie does not come back by the next point, or you're not confident enough, why aren't we then looking at the next draft being the first pick being a left tackle, or your second pick being a left tackle?
Yep. Yeah.
If I can fix the defense in a draft that is very deep and rich and damn near every position that we need, I'm going to do that this year.
Yep.
I'm going to fix what I can fix this year. And I'm definitely going to be worried about the left tackle position. That's something that you're just going to have to live with, because at the end of the day, you can't fix everything. But if I have a major leak at one point on the boat, I'm going to go fix the major leak before I plug up a pinhole.
Yeah.
Throughout my entirety of my time in personnel, we always talked about because when you're in the recruiting realm at the college level, you want to make sure that you take care of your state, and then you go outside your state. You want to make sure you get the best players in your state, because that builds camaraderie in the locker room, that builds culture, that builds pride in the school program, the state program. And so you take what the state gives you. And at certain points when I was in Mississippi, the state gave us 5 potential NFL defensive linemen.
Yeah.
There's years where the state gave us 5 potential NFL retrievers and corners. So you take those guys, because that's what builds up your team. That's what builds up the bottom of the roster. That's what makes your special team strong and makes you competent on Saturdays. It's the same thing in the NFL. You take what the draft gives you. If the draft is giving you, 30 potential, all-pro and or Hall of Fame defensive linemen, you got to go ahead and take a shot with a couple of them, and then move forward with fixing these other holes as you have them. Mm-hmm. And again, left tackle isn't necessarily a hole. It is just a short-term problem for a long-term solution, like I keep saying.
Yep.
So whatever you have to do to make sure that position is at least competent, that can protect Caleb on Saturday afternoons at the minimal amount. That's where we have to go with this thing.
Aldo's asking, Braxton Jones 100% healthy. You interested? Anybody? I said no. Anybody else?
I'm out on Braxton Jones. I've been for a while.
I talked about this on Bare Their Souls. Would he come back? Does he want to come back? He's looking for money. If the price is right, maybe. But I can't get past the feeling that if he's out there on Sundays and he's getting his ass kicked, we're all like, why the hell do we bring this bum back?
Yeah. Yeah, we dealt with that with looking back now, Charles Leno was adequate compared to
what was Josh Simmons' prognosis here? All those talking about Josh. What was his prognosis? How long did
he had the partial patellar tendon tear at Ohio State. Missed half the season and then couldn't do much in the draft process. Goes to the Chiefs and missed the first half of the year, but came back and played at the end, I think. But I don't remember him being really that great. But like Aldo says, that was a partial tear and
full tear.
Ozzy's was
it's a gruesome thing, man.
That injury puts the Bears in a pickle. It puts the Bears in a real pickle.
Mm-hmm.
But Neil, if we have Dan Rashar at Coaching Matters, Neil.
Yes, he does.
Pick a day 3 guy and hope Dan Rashar can coach him up. There's some day 3 guys I like.
We got to let Ben Johnson get his word in though, because what happened to Karan?
That's a great question. We all forgot about him.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about that when we initiated this left tackle conversation. I thought, geez, I wonder if that kid from Yale is still even on the roster or still viable in terms of the conversation.
I don't know. He is still on the roster, isn't he?
I think he's more of a guard than he is a attacker.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too, but they keep on wanting to try him out on the edge there.
He's got those long arms. That's enticing. 35-inch
They love
arms.
that long arms. Yeah, they love the long arm guys.
Gotta have him.
Yeah. I think how much more you got for us, Tooch? I think we're about to have to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I think we're about ready. I think your thoughts on recently, I could look it up, but it was a plus 350 for the Bears to win the NFC North. They're behind the Lions and Packers. I just want to get your thoughts on that because I don't kind of agree with that. I mean, I think we have a better chance of winning the NFC North than the Packers.
The Bears are going to be the team that everyone says this offseason is going to regress. They're going to say, look at all the one-score games, all the come-from-behind victories. Yep. Now they're playing a first-place schedule, and they're going to play tougher teams. That's going to be the hot-button issue, the hot name that everyone's going to say the Bears are going to regress.
Yep.
I think – now, I'm a homer, but give me the Bears to win the North again.
I agree.
I think we're built. I think there's nowhere to go but up from here. Yes, they were one-score games, but your quarterback has that clutch gene. We saw it all year. If he can clean up, and if we clean up some of the drops, this is another reason why I wouldn't mind moving to Arlington Heights. We talked about bear weather. I think it affected us just as much as it did the Rams in that game. Colston was dropping. Luther Burden was dropping.
Roma Dunze.
Exactly. If we can clean that up and get Caleb over 60% completion percentage, then the 4,000-yard passer is a thing of the past. He's going to be a better player, and he seems to be that leader. I'm bearing down. Give me Bears to win the North again.
Ben Johnson's offense is better indoors.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just that we probably won't have a new stadium to play in for 3 more years.
Yeah, it probably be,
unfortunately. I agree with you, though. I just, how fast can they get it built?
Yeah, go ahead, KB.
Oh, man, nah. As far as I'm concerned, I got this thing in sports, man. I used it in my time for when I was in, battle competitive sports like wrestling and things like that. I had this thing where if I find a way to beat you once, then you're never gonna beat me on a consistent basis ever again. And I think we started to see that kind of play out with the Bears and the Packers this year. This is my argument that I have when people say, "Oh, well, the Packers."
Yep.
The Packers have done nothing since Jordan Love has taken over except be a 7th seed. They have not won the North. They have not made it past whatever round in the playoffs they ever come into.
They wanted the head coach fired after this season, KB.
Exactly. So they're only hard on for them being as good as they are is the fact they have Michael Parsons.
And they've also got Tucker Kraft coming back from injury as well.
Yeah,
those are
good player.
And that's something else that has to be. That's another thing that has to be thought about. We're sitting there talking about maybe, Ozzie Trapillo might not come back. People do not always come back the same off of injuries. We don't know what Tucker Kraft is going to be next year.
Yep.
Tucker Kraft, insert great tight end that played on the X team. The kid that played for the Bills that was really good. The dude that played for the Ravens that was really good. Got hurt, didn't come back the same. My man that played for the Vikings. He was with the Lions at first. They got traded to the Vikings. He got hurt, didn't come back the same. You know what I'm saying? This stuff happens all the time. So you got a better chance at discussing the Lions winning the division more for me. That's the only team I can sit there and say it has right now has a complete.
It beat us twice.
But don't sit here and try to preach to me a team that hasn't won a division in damn near almost 10 years, always being the front runner. Because why? They are a team that has underachieved for the past X amount of years.
What about the Vikings, though? I mean, JJ McCarthy, we don't know, but we got to remember.
I seen a report saying they might be trying to trade JJ.
If Devin Duvernay doesn't have that big kick return at the end of that game for us to win, the Vikings win the NFC North.
And that's crazy because to me, you look at it, it goes back to my conversation about this defense, bro. You need to fix this defense badly.
Yeah.
But I don't, like I said, man, I give us just as good as a chance to win the division as the Packers. And the fact that the media always has this love for them is absolutely crazy to me, because like I said, they haven't won the division in how many years? But for whatever reason, every year they're supposed to be the betting favorites.
Yeah.
Stop it. So
that's true. That's true, KB. It's going to be a tough division, man. Top to bottom, we're solid.
Always.
Go ahead, Neil. You got anything on this one? Neil? Okay. All right. So this, we always close out the show. We give a score prediction, whole prediction, this and that.
There's the odds right there. Bears plus 350.
Neil, did you want to touch on this before we move on? I heard an echo. I thought he was on there.
So it took me a while to find that, AC.
Is my mic going in and out? Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, you're good now.
There you go.
You're good now. Yep.
What the hell is going on with this thing right now? I have no idea what the hell is happening. I was just gonna say that, the media has an absolute hard on for the Packers, and I love Aldo's comment. Packers have long-term menstrual problems. They do. They do. There's a bunch of crying and bitching and complaining. The thing is, did you guys notice on the player surveys what rating Matt LaFleur got?
I didn't even see it.
I was paying attention to ours, which that's a shame that's not going to stay around. I mean, we as fans, like the owners act like we don't know what we're looking at as far as like what we would grade them. But what
Matt
was
LaFleur
it?
got a B-.
Ooh.
And the way they treat players, I think the way they treat families was pretty low too. If I
their field got an F-. I think I saw they were talking about that on ESPN 1000.
The Packers?
Yeah,
I know the Packers ain't getting no goddamn F-. They talk about us constantly.
their field. They said the Lambeau
Steelers
field,
got an F-. No, Steelers got an F-.
Yeah, that was it. Maybe. Yeah, maybe
I was
that
about
was
to say, I know good goddamn well they ain't getting no F-, and they fans always talking shit. Oh man.
It seems like the allure for LaFleur is sort of starting to go downhill a little bit.
LaFleur, yeah,
Ryan there. Yep.
Huh.
Suck it, LaFleur.
You're a poet and didn't know it, huh? We'll close this thing out. Like I said, we usually do a bowl prediction, score prediction, all that stuff. There's not much more to predict other than what you guys think we're going to do at number 25. So I will go down and around. Tell me who your favorite at number 25 is, and maybe a backup plan if that guy is not there. And we'll close this thing out. I'll start with you, KB.
Ooh, all right, man. Favorite pick, Caleb Banks. Backup pick, Zion Young.
Damn.
I love that.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you too.
My answer, KB.
Give me if I see one of those two, I'd be absolutely over the hill. I think Caleb Banks is what we were hoping Trevon Dexter would have been. I think if he finds a way that he stays healthy and that foot is really not an issue, I think you get an absolute game changer in the middle. And like I said, Zion Young is just fun to watch. So that's he
had a DUI or something? Do you have some kind of off-field incident?
Hey,
yeah,
man.
Danny was telling me about that. I guess he had a.
I mean, I don't care. I think we have a good enough locker room, but I'm just
maybe that takes his draft stock, and you know what I'm saying. He falls somewhere he falls in the beginning of the second, and the Bears use 2 second-round picks to trade up for him. Bajan. But that's my picks, man. Y'all go ahead, brother. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. It's been too long. It's been too long. It feels great to get on here with y'all boys and chop this up, man.
That was fun.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Have you heard anything from Big Cuz?
Man, Big Cuz is living his life right now, man. I kind of let him do his thing, man. I ain't gonna badger him too much on football right now.
Absolutely understand. I didn't know if you knew anything.
Yeah, I ain't heard nothing. It's been radio silence, man.
All right. Go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, man. KB going ahead and stealing a couple of my thoughts on this whole entire thing, but apparently he stole Tucci's thoughts as well. So, whatever it is, man, I told you guys I got to get a little bit deeper into film on some stuff before I really have a really concrete feel for where I would definitely go. But yeah, the Caleb kid, the Zion kid, we have such a deep class on this defensive line, whether it be inside guys or outside guys coming through. We're gonna find somebody. We just gotta make sure it's the right somebody. Yep. Gotta make sure it's the right one. And I think what polls have shown, and hopefully it wasn't just a flash in the pan, but last year's day 1, day 2 picks were awesome.
Yeah.
We did some serious business in the draft last year. And if it ends up being a situation where Gervon Dexter does get traded and it ends up being a 3rd round pick, guess what? We have an extra day 2 pick. We have 3 day 2 picks now.
Yep.
If Bajan gets you a 4th, it's probably going to be a pretty decently high 4th. And so we're probably going to have maybe 5 players in the top 100 or 100-ish.
I'm on that train that I think the NFL gonna fuck around and give us no comp picks too.
The comp picks are going to come too. So there's another 6 and 7 picks in the top 100.
Yeah, it's hard for
ridiculous
hard for me to see them.
We're not getting them.
There's no way. There's no way that we do not get those picks given the role that Ian Cunningham now has. If that's the way they want to do the rule, which I think is a bullshit rule.
Absolutely.
But if that's the way they want to, incentivize the entirety of what they're trying to do, then yeah, we deserve those picks. So let's go ahead and give the Bears the picks. In that case, we'll have 7 in the top, 100-ish, where we can address a ton of needs,
that'd be so nice.
Of which the first 2 or 3 picks I do believe need to be front 7 defensive picks.
Yeah,
that's where I fall on that.
I
think that pick number 25 is the
Gotta
best
get some
available
safeties though,
lineman.
too, Neil. We got no safeties.
Yeah, we got to attack that. We do have to attack that. I think you go ahead and move Tyreek Stevenson back to safety. That's what I think you do.
Yeah, we talked about it on here now.
Yep. I think that's potentially what one of those fixes is. Because Tyreek Stevenson can play strong safety. Strong safety, you don't need to think too much. You just need to hit people hard.
He's a good.
Well, we got to keep him engaged. That's been the problem with Tyreek.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, man, we got to attack DB in this class too because that DB room is kind of scary. And we do need to improve the team speed at the second level. So I think linebacker is going to come into play, and there's a bunch of fast ones out there.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at on the whole entire thing, guys. We're going to do. We're going to try to at least get into a little bit more film on these guys over the next month. Like I said, I just got this new job that I'm trying to get up to speed with. Moved away from Catapult onto Prep Red Zone, still writing about high school kids, going to, really amp up the Missouri coverage there and supplement the Illinois coverage of high school prospects. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Amped up for it. It's been great so far. Got to move in the middle of March, so that's going to be chaotic for the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to do my best to stay on top of stuff. But shout out to y'all boys. I'm glad I was able to make it on for a little bit. Sorry we don't get to see my beautiful face. But we don't want to see what this face looks like right now. So we're gonna.
It's cold and flu season, brother. We all struggling.
Yeah. I think it's just stress induced. Like you sometimes you just wake up feeling like complete ass. You know what I mean? I think it's just all that is. But man, shout out to y'all boys. Like I said, glad I was able to make it on. Chad always is awesome. No matter how much you guys disparage my home state, I still love you. Just know that you're wrong. Okay. Just know that you're wrong. Indiana is one of the best states in the nation where we're operating with a surplus and state income tax is either low or non-existent. So that's awesome. And, shout out to, man, it's speed season, man. We got players running fast. We got cars driving fast. We got bikes driving fast. We got trucks going fast. We got everything going fast right now. It's a great time of year.
Yep.
Can't wait to be back on with you boys again soon. And, as always, bear down. Bear down, boys.
Neil, 4-3 is the new 4-4 in the 40.
Jeez, man. It is nuts. You got 12 defensive ends running sub 4.7. I remember when you just you just run in the 4.7s and you're like, oh, shit, that guy can move.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, absolutely insane. Go ahead, Tooch.
Yep. All right. Can I play conspiracy theorist here for a little bit?
I wish I had the X-Files music to play.
We used to have that. Yeah, compensatory picks. So here's my thoughts on this, because I think the NFL missed a golden opportunity here to give the Bears the third round picks, because to me a lot of the NFL is about marketing. Marketing, image, all this stuff. They're trying to improve the brand, expand the brand. And when Patrick Mahomes came into the league, it was a player that they could, improve their image by pumping this player up. And Caleb Williams offers them the same exact time. Now the Chiefs star has fallen. The Bears star is on the rise. You give the Bears the two compensatory picks to help them build up into an America's team. And Caleb Williams, the new face of the NFL. And this, to me, is a golden opportunity. Why they're not awarding us we did everything we had to. We developed a GM. He got hired as a GM. He's making football decisions, drafting player personnel. We deserve the third round compensatory picks. To me, the NFL has always freaking hated the Bears. They constantly, when we send in tapes of how unjust sometimes the referees and officials are against us, holding calls called against us, and then the Packers hold the shit out of us. I'm playing conspiracy theorist and being a homer here a little bit, and it's hyperbole, but you get what I'm saying. It's an opportunity to build the Bears up as the face of the league behind Caleb Williams. And giving us the compensatory picks that we deserve allows us to improve our team to where we are, competing for playoffs every year and a Super Bowl every year. That's just my thoughts on the compensatory picks. I think it's a wasted opportunity for the NFL to improve its brand and image. As far as what I think the Bears should do, Ryan Poles has said best player available. At the same time, we have to shore up the defensive line. He wants more speed on defense. We can't patch all these holes, obviously. Free agency will tell us a little bit more about what they'll look into the draft and what they did last season, as far as building the offensive line. As far as my favorite players, I love Caleb Banks. I mean, he's an absolute record. The foot injury scares me a little bit. The knee or foot or whatever it is. I think it's a foot. But man, if you hit on that pick, like I said, that's a home run. Caden McDonald is the safe play there. Yeah. The tree stump in the middle of the defense, a solid anchor, the heavy hands would help immediately. He's a day one starter. Both those guys, your first round pick has got to be a day one starter. In the second round, if you're looking at edge position, the guys that fit are the Zion Young with the size. He's about 265. He's got the length. The Illinois defensive end, Gabe Jackas, another guy that fits the system nicely. That guy's got a really good motor. He's strong. He's got a little bit of bend, might be a little stiff, but did you see Booker's comment? You're backing me. Thanks, Booker. I love you. But and then later on in the draft, I'd like to see him take some speed. We have to get faster on defense. Ruben Hippolyte couldn't make it onto the field. He was a guy they drafted for speed at linebacker.
He had speed.
He had the speed. Yeah, had the speed. Well, we still have him though. We still have him in our pocket. Speed. We have the fast UTSA cornerback in our pocket. Can these guys play? Well, I mean, we'll have to see. Coaching matters.
Matters.
And then we got late round safeties are there, man. The Iowa kid. We got an Iowa safety here that
Bud Clark out of TCU.
4-4. Yeah, Bud Clark late. The Kansas State safety I like a lot. He's got a lot of speed. Really showed at the Senior Bowl.
Your Iowa guys, they've always got dudes that are.
Iowa's got a guy was got an edge rusher I like too. Max Llewellyn. He can't hold up against the run, but dude's got some moves. The Iowa safety, Xavier Nwankpa, he's a bit raw, but man, he's like long and he is fast. And he's smart too. So, I mean, maybe that's like an undrafted free agent or seventh rounder you could get. A defense is the way to go. Final words. Thanks to my co-hosts for bringing it today. I know I kept you a little longer with my rambling. And the chat room was fantastic as well. Thanks for all the donations, Maddie and others.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have covered it all. Caleb Banks is my number one choice. If he's not there, give me Caden McDonald. If he's not there, I might even take Lee Hunter. I know his testing athleticism didn't match up to what a lot of people were hoping to do, but his production is there, and he's a beast in the middle. And if he's not there at edge rusher, we've all said Zion Young, obviously. I'm trying to remember. We went over it on Draft on Tap, me and Danny, edge rushers 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to remember who all was there that we talked about. But a lot of those guys that he was like hoping would fall to the second round are like getting pushed up into the first round now. Yeah, Keldrick Falk.
Any of these guys on your list?
Yep, Keldrick Falk. He's got the size. He plays the run really well. TJ Parker is one of those Clemson guys that that looked good going into the year, and it just kind of didn't work out for him toward the end of the year. I still think Reuben Bain, David Bailey, and Arvell Reese are all going to be gone before we ever see the board, even with his short arms. Yeah, Devine, you're talking about R. Mason Thomas. He's kind of a smaller guy too, which kind of worries me. I don't know if he fits. He's out of Oklahoma, but I don't know if he fits the system technically.
They talked to Cassius Howell. He's a little guy.
I don't know. Player. I don't know how he fits either.
Michigan guys are those two Michigan.
Derek Moore tore it up,
and the other guy is good too. The Jay Sean Barham. He's raw, but he's good, man.
Yeah, so
they're both blazing fast.
We got plenty of names. We still got free agency coming up, so we'll see if they can plug any holes there. We got to get some money freed up, obviously. I don't know how big a players Bears will be in free agency, depending on how much money we can free up. Those are the D-line is my number one spot. Y'all think there's any shot we go corner if one of them falls there? I know I like Chris Johnson a lot out of I believe it's San Diego State. He showed a lot of speed. He ran the gauntlet the other day and looked beautiful doing it. Caught everything, but it's not technically a need. But
AJ Terrell's brother,
Avion Terrell,
he can play, man.
He's good. He's good too. Yeah. But I don't know. We got to go defense. We need speed. Good. Neil, you good?
Yeah, why? What's going on?
Oh, yeah, you came unmuted. I thought you might have had something to say. Anyway, defense. Let's fix the defense. Shout out to you boys for coming on here with me and talking ball. Like you said, Tooch, we went a little long because we were kind of all over the rails. We had a lot of stuff to try and cover, in a little bit of time in which to do it. Shout out to the chat.
We're all draft nerds.
That's right. Shout out to the chat. They all brought it today. Special shout out to Matthew Fulchisi for giving us some coffee money this morning. And shout out to Aldo for hopping on here and giving his thoughts in the chat.
Oh, yeah, Aldo.
I forgot about that guy. I forgot about the Aldo.
But,
Aldo, hope you're feeling well, brother.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Well, like, comment, and subscribe to the Barroom Radio Network. Hit the notification bell to tell you when we go live. I'll go ahead and tell you, we'll be back in 2 weeks to try and predict some free agency moves. That'll be the weekend before free agency. So hopefully by then we'll see what kind of money we got. We could think about some guys that we might like to see in a Bears uniform next year. That's my plan anyway. Is 2 weeks from now we'll go live again. Tomorrow, Greg Gabriel's going during the day. Him and Aldo will be on here to talk draft prospects and the combine and all those things. And then come back at night, 8 p.m. Myself and Danny Shimon will be on to talk about the edge rush or defensive tackle position. We're going to cover that in general, and we may cover some overall thoughts on the combine as well. We're trying to attack each position group that we see is in need. We've already done the edge rusher. Now we're going to do defensive tackle, and then we'll probably do linebacker, safeties, corners, etc. Going forward between now and the draft. But hey, there is no off season for Bears, man. It goes nonstop. It's nonstop. When the season ends, you flip the page over to the draft and start looking into these prospects and watching the tape and figuring out who we like, who we don't like, who we want, who we don't want, etc. But until then, we'll just leave everybody with a Bear down.
Bear down, baby.